Doody da da.
Okay. All right.
Paul, I'm so happy that you came to
Oh.
Dallas so we have a chance to talk with you about this extraordinary film,
Oh, thanks, Bob.
Autofocus. Is this the most daring film you've ever made, do you think?
Oh no, I've made some daring films. Some people were upset with Last Temptation of Christ. I did a film on the life of Yukio Mishima that was banned in Japan, made it in Japanese. Taxi Driver upset some people. So I'm not entirely a stranger to controversy.
So you jumped at the chance to do this.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, it was, even though I was sort of turned off by biopics at the time, this character was just so complex and rich. He had the power of fiction. It's the kind of life that that you would have created as a writer. And then you have the added benefit that he actually lived. And so it was pretty tempting.
Did you ever meet him or know him?
Nope, no.
Anyone connected with the movie ever know him?
Well, his son, Bobbie, was a technical consultant. He plays a role in the film. And then I met the other son, Scotty, and met Diana Carpenter's wife. Met a lot of his friends and people from the show. So, you have to do your research.
Did you have to get clearance from the family members?
Well, it's a kind of murky area. We got clearance from some, not from others. The legal department at Sony, goes through the film frame by frame and vets it. So it's a complicated proposition, and Sony is a big economic target. So they don't let something get by if they are not on good legal ground.
So, in other words, you feel comfortable, and Sony Classics feels comfortable that there aren't going to be family members suing.
Well, no, I think there very well will be. The second family, Patricia, I think, has announced her intention to sue, but Sony Legal feels very confident that she does not have a case.
As far as the murder is concerned, do you agree with the theory of the book that probably John Carpenter was guilty?
Well, certainly it's the best fit, method, motive, means, opportunity. They brought him up for trial. The jury was out all of 20 minutes. They just didn't have the evidence. If I was on that jury, I would have voted to acquit too. But Carpenter still is the prime suspect and the best fit for it. That's historically. Dramatically, of course, he's the best fit too.
Yes, he certainly, the film portrays that he had motivation to do it. Yes. You made this picture in 33 days. You filmed it in 33 days, is that right?
That is correct.
And what kind of a budget did you have?
That would be about $7.5 million.
That in itself is a story.
Yeah, well, I know. I've been working in the independent realm for about 10, 15 years now, and you learn how to stretch a dollar and how to make 7.5 look like 15, and that's part of the challenge.
How difficult was it to keep this an R-rated film and not going into it NC-17?
Well, that was the intention, and I'm contractually obligated to deliver an R. I thought I was making an R when we were shooting it, and you certainly don't have the money to shoot time or the money to shoot stuff that you can't put in the movie. So I wasn't off shooting, porn that I couldn't use because I didn't have that time. It turned out that I had sort of based my ideas of what an R is sort of on Sex and the City and 6 Feet Under. Well, it turns out that those shows would not be rated R and could not be played in theaters, and that cable is far more liberal than theatrical. And so I had a number of things that of softcore sex simulation that I had to alter. One, I pixelate the image, another I kind of blur the image, another I stop frame, another one I slow down, and I did these things in order to get the R.
Are there certain parts of his life that you just couldn't deal with?
No. I mean, there are certain things that you couldn't deal with legally because they were unsubstantiated. They were just rumor and hearsay, and so that you couldn't get in there. But most of his life was pretty substantiated. You know, he left quite a record, so to speak, of a trail of videotape.
Okay. Well, Paul, again, thank you for coming, and I wish you the best with autofocus.
Oh, thank you.
Again, it's an extraordinary film.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Okay, now just stay where okay, and you know the drill, of course.
Yeah.
Paul, were there any parts of Bob Crane's life that you just couldn't deal with, couldn't portray?
How about those Cowboys? What do you think they're going to do this year? I don't know. I think they should bring Michael Irwin back.
Oh, here's this cable.
I tried to get you there, Bobbie.
Now, okay. Did you have to get? Okay. Did you have to get clearance from family members before you could make the film?
To some degree, and to some degree not.
Okay. Is it likely that any of the family members will sue?
I think it's a certainty that Patricia will sue.
Let's see. How difficult was it to keep this an R-rated film rather than going into NC-17?
I really think those Enron people should get the death penalty. And they should have their fingernails pulled out first, though.
Hang on just one second. Okay. All right. I think they'll get it.
All right.